Hello my beautiful hammerhead and welcome back to another video. I know, 2 videos in one day, but in the early hours of today I promised you another one because, well, I was only able to record my reactions to basically just the pictures of the Adepticon reveals. Now we're gonna go over the articles of Age of Sigmar 4th edition, what's gonna come. We're gonna dissect the trailer and, well, talk about the rules that were teased in said article. Well, don't diddle-daddle as for long now. We're just gonna jump right into the article. There isn't really that much. I'm gonna skip the Warcry article, even though John Bracken was interviewed by Nick Baton. John Bracken, by the way, one of the loveliest Irish guys ever, besides Jacksepticeye, which, yeah, there's nothing else to say. He's wonderful. Responsible for Warcry and Underworld. I'm also gonna skip Dawnbringer Book 6 and what's there to come because of reasons. I don't have book 5 in my hands as of yet. And even though, let's go a little bit over here and look at Abraxia, Spear of the Ever-Chosen. Not only fantastic model as in my reaction of her, lore-wise, her spear is amazing. It's a gift from Archaon to her, just as a test if she's worthy or not. She's the head of the Varangard. She's the Varangard of the Varangard, basically. And yeah, I'm not gonna talk about her right now. So what we're gonna do here is, first of all, yeah, Warhammer Age of Sigmar is reforged for an incredible new edition. Yeah, like, the mortal realms are in turmoil. Sigmar's Dawnbringer crusades teeter on the precipice between survival and disaster, even as the forces of chaos, destruction and death grow in power. But you know who's been suspiciously absent from the titanic struggles that have come to dominate the 8 realms? The Skaven hordes, because of reasons. So that's what they've been up to. A billions-strong tsunami of fur and teeth and malice is boiling up through Akshi and beyond as a scheme centuries in the making comes to vile fruition and brings with it an all-new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. That's right, the most exciting fantasy tabletop wargame in the world has been rewritten from the ground up, building on a decade of rich storytelling and bringing with it legions of new miniatures, new rules, an entirely new game mode, and harrowing new chapter in the existential battle for the mortal realms. The story so far, luckily this isn't a long article, after a long period seemingly at the periphery of the action, the Skaven have returned with a cataclysmic bang. The realms have gotten too used to a world where Vermin King keep to the shadows and the consequences are dire. All that skulking around was time spent plotting the greatest scheme of all, the Vermin Doom, blossoming much of the foetid subrealm of Blight City, for me still Blight Town, into the realm of fire and opening up festering rents in reality across the rest of the mortal realms. So it's not only in Akshi. At the same time, the Great Horned Rat has struck a deal with Archaon himself and ascended to his rightful place as a full 5th member of the Chaos Pantheon, somewhat to the chagrin of the erstwhile 4. So the Great Horned Rat was already the 5th Chaos God, but the other 4 were like, we don't accept you in our pantheon, even though the Great Horned Rat was a member of the pantheon since the end times. And we also should, this is very, very important, and opening up festering rents in reality across the rest of the mortal realms. This is going to be important in a later point of time. In the face of such calamity, the Stormcast Eternals of the Hallowed Knights Chamber stand as the foremost bulwark against an ever-expanding tide of rodents, but the horrors they face in combating a continent-sized outbreak of Skaven are so overwhelming that they have been forced to call upon the Ruination Chamber. These are the most grizzled veterans of the Stormcast, heroes of 1,000 battles dating back to the Soul Wars and before, brave men and women who have died over and over again in the service of the God King. The innumerable reforgings have taken a heavy toll. These heroes have been sequestered in monasteries for years now, clinging to the last vestiges of their humanity. Now they have been called upon once more, the only forces hardy enough to enter a war zone blighted by the corrupting forces of the Warpstone. For these mighty warriors, these may be the final time they step into battle, at least as themselves. So, story so far. There is a lot that we even haven't had in the Dawnbringer books. Okay. The game. This huge shift in narrative is accompanied by changes to the game. The rules of Warhammer Age of Sigmar have gradually introduced new layers of complexity over the past 9 years, always building on a robust framework, but perhaps not able to take stock and reassess the experience as a whole. So for this edition, the team wanted to make sure they got everything right. The core rules have been reforged for the first time since the first edition of the game, released way back in 2015. The focus has been on streamlining accessibility and modularity, but not at the expense of depth, to ensure that the epic fantasy battles of your imagination can be recreated on the tabletop. This new edition is absolutely still the Warhammer Age of Sigmar that you all know and love, with all the friction taken out, cleanly and smartly. It has the tactical and strategic nuance of the previous editions, driven by a real desire for the background to show through on the tabletop. On top of all that, there are modular rules, plenty more opportunities for reactivity in your opponent's turn via an updated system of command points and abilities, and a ton of tweaks and refinements, not least to the double turn, which has been fine-tuned into a knife-edge decision with a clever twist to scoring. Put simply, it is the best edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar yet. What does this mean for my army? Rebuilding the core rules means that quite a lot has changed, and every faction in the new edition has had its entire set of war scrolls and army rules updated and reworked. As a result, each faction in the new edition will receive a free downloadable faction pack at launch. Each pack will contain all of the rules needed to play, battle traits, sub-factions, enhancements, spell laws, and war scrolls for every unit. This also means that the battle tomes from the current edition will not be compatible with the new rules, and that every faction will receive a new battle tome over the next few years. So, over the next 3 years. We'll have more details on what the new war scrolls look like and what you can expect from every faction in the coming months. So basically every Monday. Okay, the article is almost over. Spearhead, a new way to play. As well as updates to the match play and Path to Glory, the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar is accompanied by Spearhead, a fresh game mode that plays in an hour or less using the contents of each faction's Spearhead and Vanguard boxes. We already knew that. We already knew that as soon as they announced Spearhead boxes that they are going to be the equivalent of Combat Patrol. Spearhead is a fun and exquisitely balanced version of Warhammer Age of Sigmar and a brilliant way to introduce the game to beginners. But it's not just new players who want to play this mode, it really takes advantage of new modular core rules to introduce a unique tactical spin. The design studio absolutely love it, and it's become one of the most popular games to play in lunch hours and after work around the office. Despite its small scale, Spearhead is a deep and robust game system with enough depth and twists to provide endless replayability. We'll definitely have more to say on this system in the near future. Also, probably on a Monday. What's next? yeah, this summer will be an exciting time to a Warhammer Age of Sigmar fan, and there's ample opportunity for a new player to discover this incredible universe and game. Tune in over the coming months. Okay. So we have this. Now, let's go back. Well, just ignore the story right now. I have a document prepared. Because we had... okay, this is something that I also have to show. Oh, I could have prepared this beforehand, but no. As usually, I'm not that smart. So we have here in the interview Ben Johnson, Phil Kelly, Matt Rose. Just as a background for these wonderful people, Ben Johnson was a tournament player who won multiple tournaments with Battletomes that came out that weekend. So he knows his stuff. And at a certain point in time, Games Workshop said, please stop that. Come and work for us. You can make us a better game. And so he did. Now Ben Johnson is, I believe, not only part of the core rules writing team, but he's the lead designer of the core rules writing team. But he deserves his spot. It's also one of the reasons why the Age of Sigmar development team has now a Q&A department, has an internal balancing department, and so on. Then we have here Phil Kelly. Phil Kelly is responsible for the main narrative storyline of Age of Sigmar. Also played a big part in the rules writing right now, as for reasons that I will tell you in a moment. And we have Matt Rose. His background is from video game development, internal balancing, and that's his job here with Games Workshop right now. We have seen him multiple times in MetaWatch, and yeah, he's there for internal balancing. That's not much to say, but as of yet, he's done a stellar job. So these three are talking about stuff, and I've made a list for that. What did I write? Change a little bit over the time in the dev team. Oh yeah, I already said that. Oh yeah, for the Blight Town thingy that erupts from there, it's not only the Vermin Doom, it's also that the Great Parch, the continent where Hammerhal Akshar is based on, and our Dawnbringer Crusade ventured out, a third of the continent is now taken over by Blight City of the Skaven. But let us talk about the rules first. First of all, this is going to be an index edition. And I'm kinda torn about this. First of all our books are now invalid, but we're gonna get free PDFs. We're gonna get, I've read the article to you. Everything is free. Enhancements, subfactions, everything. In this interview, they say the game will be easy to learn. We will see that. They want the tactical depth and skill expression to be still around, with more reactive commands and opportunities for counters. So there are major updates to the core rules. Without any more information, I'm not going to go further into it, because if someone comes to you and talks about anything, it's just speculation. As of right now, we have nothing. The only things we know is combat range is gone. Everything in combat fights within 3 inches. That's one of the points we've got. It is easier to play, to be able to tell more stories on the battlefield. The spearhead gameplay comes in the launch box, apparently, with the board, the cards, and terrain. I don't know how they're going to do that, but there are also brand new mechanics like card mechanics. I guess it's gonna be something like in 40k 10th edition where you just pull up cards. They said there are inbuilt balancing due to round and time-gated mechanics, probably something like deep striking, and cards you pull every round and there are different objectives on there. And they're even realm-based. So in Akshi there are different things than in Gairan there was. Yeah, well, the example. The regular game has been completely rewritten, war scrolls for every unit. There are just gonna be a limited set of USRs, so universal special rules. I like that. Limited special rules are really great because I don't want to open my battle tome and see special rule this, like in the old world, and then you have to go to another book, look into the book, that is the special rule, go back to your first book, okay, that's that, and then play the game. And the example they gave us is champions, standard bearers, and musicians are all gonna do the same thing now. As of right now, we have musicians that do different things in different armies, which is horrible. So this is something great, which I really, really love, that every champion, standard bearer, and musician is gonna do the same thing. And this is one of the USRs, which is fantastic, because when this is the example, that means other stuff is also going to be that simple. Like, I don't know, 6s to hit are auto wounds, anything like that. They also said that they just lined up they lined up every unit in the game for infantry, cavalry, monster, and visually asked themselves and the team what makes sense for how many wounds does this unit have, how fast do they move, how many attacks do they have. So they categorized every unit in the game like that. Also, they color-coded systems. They have a color coding system, now I have it, for abilities as they're used in different phases. Color coding is something new for us. We already have something like that in 40k with the command point system, which is also reactive or a movement or anything like that. So this is a nice change. It eases the user experience. As of right now, we just piled up new rules on top of everything, and it looked good. As visually, it looked nice, but it wasn't a good experience. And everything that enhances our player and user experience, I'm all for that. For the rules themselves, they looked at it from a lore, a miniature, and a rules perspective, like a Venn diagram, so it had to hit the sweet spot in all three of them. That also sounds nice. War scrolls, as I've said, are available digitally and physically. The Dawnbringer stuff is gonna be updated for the new edition. So contents like the heroes, the regiments and armies of renown, and so on, which is also very, very nice. I'm very much for that. So now we're gonna take apart the trailer, because there are some things that I really, really want to talk about. Let's go back here. I'm gonna mute this because what was very disappointing is Sigmar's lie. Stormcasts are marketed. Oh no, you know what? I'm just gonna take the volume down that much that it's not just me talking. Stormcasts are marketed as whenever they die, they lose part of themselves. This is part of the marketing. That's why Ionis Cryptborn and Astrea Soulbright are on their quest to, well, bring back the humanity of the Stormcasts. What is very nice is that we see how our protagonist for, the trailer is being reforged pre-first edition, so she's one of the first liberators, then Soul Wars come, the Cruel Boys come, and now the Skaven. We see here Akshi, which is very nice. As I've said in my trailer reaction, Mount Doom is in the background. So, but the interesting things are... Wait, let me go a little bit forward. Here we have Blighttown. And in the interview, as I've said, they mentioned that this Vermindoom is a third of the continent, which is a lot. Okay, I should have prepared this again. So the new Clawlord on his mount, which is actually pretty nice. Then we have here, this is not Vandus, this is not a hammer. I was wrong in my reaction here. First of all, this is a Hallowed Knight, not a Hammer of Sigmar. So it couldn't have been Vandus. That makes it that much easier to know. Ruination Chamber. Here we have the new Clan Rats. They're probably gonna get new Clan Rats. This is not that far off. We're gonna talk about the big guy in a moment. And... oh, wait. We're gonna do this in a very stupid way. Okay, we have Annihilators, we have the Liberators, we have my cat. Okay, let me do this like that. Wait, why doesn't it do the thing? Doesn't do the thing. No, it's not doing the thing. Okay, here we have probably a new Red Ogre. Because this is not a Storm Fiend. So Red Ogres with ranged weapons. This is gonna be nice. This is gonna be something really something something that I'm looking forward to. Then the new Jezzails. This is very easy. Rapid Fire probably. The new Prosecutors in Thunderstrike armor. That is also something really what I'm looking for. We know that this is new Thunderstrike armor because of the shield, because of the pauldrons, and the kneecaps and stuff like that. So that is pretty simple to know. But I love this. So this thing is called the Rattling-Blaster. And if the trailer shows us a little bit of their inner workings for the rules, you need to keep moving to fire this thing. This is not a stationary weapon. Just look at how they are pushing it and then it moves. And the faster it moves, the faster it fires. The rate of fire just ramps up, which is awesome. This is something this is also something that I'm looking forward to. Then we have the Claw Lords just running away, which is pretty nice. And I think that was it for now. What is something that is mentioned that the regular Stormcasts can't go into the Warpstone infected area of Blighttown. And yeah. And that only the Ruination Chamber, for me, Bladeguard veterans of 40k are able to go in there because they're almost done with their humanity, they're tough. But we haven't seen armor being pulled away from the regular Stormcasts here. Which is... or am I just that blind? But we didn't see that. But nothing happens to these. Nope. Okay. Then it was background information for us in the interview. That is fine. I still enjoyed it. That we get the information. Something that is really funny is before I started recording, I saw so many pissy 40k fans. So how can't they show us more 40k? So dude, this is the year of sword and sorcery. We had lasers and bolters last year. This is the cycle. Get used to it. In 2 years, it's again lasers and bolters. It's just the thing. Okay, when, or rather, if I missed something. Oh yes, I missed something. I am sorry. Because I know this is a long video. I'm so sorry about that. We're not gonna watch this again. This is something I've said during the video. Liberator, Thunderstrike Armor, Vindicator, Ruination Chamber. And yeah, that's basically it. We have talked about the rest in itself. Okay, yeah, that was it now. It's just the confirmation of her, what's it called? Her path to glory. Let us say it like that. But yeah, okay, as I've said, a very long video. I'm sorry about that. I'm not usually making these kinds of videos, but it's Age of Sigmar. It's a new edition. There are so many things to talk about. I am excited. As I've said, I don't want to go too much into speculations here with the rules because I can do a wish listing for rules in a different video, in a specific video just for that. But it just doesn't make sense because the rules are already written, the books are being printed, or are rather being done and being packaged right now, so we can have these in the 4 months. They're almost exactly 4 months. And yeah, it's still gonna be awesome. Hallowed Knights, apparently now the chamber to show, which is nice. Hammers of Sigmar had their limelight. And yeah, okay, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I am keen to know what you have to say. And while you're down there, please remember to do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is not only fun. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more Warhammer almost every day. And by that I of course mean like and subscribe. Tomorrow on my German channel I will make a video for the Spearhead boxes, because there are some things I want to talk about. This is coming on Saturday on this channel, because tomorrow we're gonna have the Feel Good Friday stream, and I hope I will see you there. But until then, have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.